Hey, good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here on Wave Now. I'm Myra Ansari. I hope that you are doing well. And if you had a rough weekend from the storms, I am so sorry. I know a lot of homes got hit pretty hard. It was definitely devastating for a lot of folks. We had about 5 people who died in Kentucky and several homes that were destroyed from the weekend storm. So I'm so sorry if you are having to deal with that type of loss. But we know in really tough situations, a lot of bad characters can come out. So today we are teaming up with the Better Business Bureau, the BBB, to give you a heads up on things that you need to know of, because a lot of times in situations like this, scammers come out and they just want your money. Whitney Atkins joins us today. Whitney, thank you so much for your time. We give this reminder out all the time, but inevitably someone falls victim because these scammers are good.
Yes, thank you for having me, Myra. Absolutely. Like our hearts go out to anyone who lost a loved one or suffered property damage this weekend. And it's going to be, a tough time in the days ahead, assessing the damage and getting it repaired. And yes, you're correct. This is unfortunately a prime time for scammers to come out of the woodwork, to pose as contractors or whatever the case may be, offering repair work. And what happens is, victims of the storm end up being victimized again by the scammer.
You should not feel bad. If you have questions, if you have doubts, do not let someone take advantage of you, right, Whitney? It's your responsibility to ask these questions and to be like, hey, can I see your driver's license? I need to check out your website. Do you have any references? It's okay to ask these questions.
Absolutely. In fact, we strongly.
Oh, I lost you, Whitney. Hello. Sorry, I think we lost Whitney's signal there. Let me see if there we go. Oh,
baby.
There we go. All right. You were saying, Whitney, that's okay. Hey, sometimes internet service, it can be a little tricky. You were mentioning it's okay to ask questions.
Yes. I'm going to blame that on the, residuals from the storms, but yes. Please do ask questions. Start with your insurance company. Make sure that you know what your policies cover. I know they're probably going to be.
Whitney. Oh, no. Sorry, folks. This is what happens sometimes when we do live interviews and it's technology. We're going to blame it again. Hey, maybe you're going through some internet outages. I know a lot of folks are dealing with that. Hey, Whitney, let's give it another try. All right, I'm going to use my Tuesday patience and we're going to get through this. So I'm sorry for the folks that are joining us. We're going through some technical difficulties, as we say in TV news. Whitney, if you can hear me, let's see. Maybe you can log off and then come back on, and I will keep this stream up so we do not lose our viewers. Let's try that. Hey, stand by for me, folks. I apologize. Just don't go anywhere, okay? Whitney, if you can hear me, log off and then come back on. All right, folks, we are just having some internet issues, so I apologize. We were working with the BBB, the Better Business Bureau, as many of you are familiar with, talking about kind of getting the right help that you need recovering from the storms that we had over the weekend. The governor has declared a state of emergency in Kentucky, and the National Guard is going to be on hand to help people in need. I was driving around over the weekend, and I saw a lot of homes with trees down, and generators running. So this is a really tough time for a lot of folks. And people may come and knock on your door and say, hey, I can take care of this tree for you. you got to pay me up front and I'll take care of it for you. And a lot of folks, because they're desperate, they fall victims to these scammers that are out there. And it happens all the time. And people think, oh, it's just a certain age group that falls victim to this. No, it can be anybody, really. And a lot of times, once you give up that money, it's really hard to track down your money back, and it's just an unfortunate situation. So don't go anywhere. I don't want to end this stream because I know I have a number of you watching, and this is information that you need. So Whitney Atkins from the BBB logged off. She's going to be logging back on so we can get you this information. So stand by for me. Don't go anywhere. Again, my apologies, working out the kinks sometimes on stuff like this. But we do know that the National Weather Service confirmed an EF1 tornado hit Meade County near the Hardin County line. Strong winds knocked down trees and they damaged homes. So, coming back off the holiday weekend, a lot of folks are trying to figure out, okay, what do I do? So don't go anywhere. I'm going to take a quick 2-minute break here to see if I can get Whitney Atkins back on, and we'll bring you this information. So stand by for me. Okay, I think we got Whitney now. So I apologize, folks. We just had a little bit of technical issues there. All right, Whitney, if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. Whitney, can you hear me? All right, you got me? Can you hear me, Whitney? Thumbs up? Down? Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Sorry, folks. Okay. There we got it. Sorry, folks. Hey, I appreciate all you hanging on there for us. All right, Whitney, we were saying, what were we saying?
I believe I was saying check with your insurance so that you know your policies first and foremost. That way you know what's covered, what isn't, before you even begin the work of hiring repair services. Next, as you look to making repairs, if you're going to hire someone to do that, most folks probably are if you've suffered significant damage, you want to make sure that you can trust who you're working with. Start by doing a little bit of homework. Visit bbb.org, that's the Better Business Bureau's website, where you can review the profiles of any contractors or roofing or construction companies, see what other folks have said about them, read reviews, make sure that they aren't popping up as a scam company in our scam tracker system. And finally, when you have folks, as you may well do, have coming door to door to you, offering their services, be wary. Don't fall for high pressure sales tactics. Don't let them try to talk you into a deal that's only good for a limited amount of time. Don't be pressured into signing anything, agreeing to anything up front. You are absolutely allowed to say, I'm going to think about it. I'm going to, look around at other options, price compare. Don't be forced into anything, and certainly be wary of any business or contractor who's demanding full payment up front, or a very large down payment up front. This is a red flag that you may not be dealing with a trustworthy individual or company.
I don't know if you can answer this, but what are some legitimate things that a contractor can say to you? If they say, hey, can I have half now, half later? What is okay? What should you feel comfortable with?
I would say, yeah, a small amount upfront, a smaller amount upfront, it, is not uncommon. But bottom line is look at what they are saying versus what they're not. If they're being really pushy, stressing that, maybe their schedule's filling up or, that you really want to sign with them right now, that it, can be a sign that you might be, not always, but that you might be dealing with a scammer because they're trying to get you to hire them without doing your homework first, without researching them or their offers first. So, legitimate contractors, their contracts are going to vary as far as what they require upfront or down the road. But bottom line is you want to know that by doing your homework. So researching those companies. And I know it's a pain, but once you do, before you do sign anything, read it carefully. Make sure you understand what is expected of you in this transaction, what you're going to be paying, things of that nature. Don't go into this blindly. I know it's a stressful time, but you don't want to make it even more stressful for yourself down the road to find that, you hired someone to get work done and then either it wasn't done at all or it was started and then left unfinished and you can't get a hold of them.
Is it okay to say, can I take a photo of your driver's license? I'm going to take a photo of your license plate. Are those okay things to ask?
They can agree or disagree, but certainly you can ask. You can ask for business cards. You can ask for proper credentials, to make sure that they are licensed properly in the state of Kentucky or Indiana. If you're a Hoosier who suffered property damage, yes, certainly. Now, if they get, a little bit cagey, or some folks may be hesitant to have their licenses photographed, but say they don't want to show you, whether they're licensed in the state or they give you the runaround. Again, this could be a sign that you don't want to work with them.
So when people say they're insured, I've heard a lot of this, hey, I'm insured, I'm licensed. What does that mean? How does that protect me?
So it means that they have done the proper work ahead of time to be licensed with the state. And they, if they are currently licensed, typically that means that, they haven't done anything, we'll say shady or improper to lose that licensure. So typically that not always, it's not the only thing you want to base your choice off of, but that's a good start to know, okay, they have gone through what the state of Kentucky requires for their line of work. And if they are currently licensed, that at least means that they haven't done anything that
we lost Whitney again. I'm sorry, folks. Okay, so here's some other things that the BBB has told us to things. Oh, there. Oh, it's like you come and go. There we go. You have to be careful of storm chasers. I'm going to run through this while I see Whitney's picture come back up. We'll jump back to her. Storm chasers, they follow the chaos. So they are driving around your neighborhood. They are waiting to knock on your door, right, Whitney? There are storm chasers out there. The bid is extremely low. So if that's another red flag, too good to be true, it is for sure.
Absolutely. And I'll just throw in, Myra, before I maybe get disconnected again. If you, like me, unfortunately, are still without power at your residence, hang tight. I know the folks at LG&E are working as hard as they can. You've seen reports on the news. They brought in even extra help to get everyone back running, and it's tough, I know. But this is also a time to be wary of any phone calls claiming to represent LG&E, saying that you need to pay money up front in order to be reconnected or anything of that nature. If you have any questions, reach out to LG&E directly. Don't fall for scammers pretending to be them who are just looking to get money out of you when they know that you're, in kind of a desperate situation.
I know this may sound a little not to be like mean or anything, but in situations of chaos like this, usually big companies, they are not reaching out to us, right? Your power is out.
Right.
More than they're so busy that we have to kind of chase them down. They're not calling us to let us know, hey, we've got you covered.
Absolutely. They're not, this is not the time they're going to be hounding you over an alleged unpaid bill or anything of that nature. And they're doing their best, as we've seen, to keep folks updated via their website or text updates that you sign up for. These are not unsolicited messages. So anytime you're getting an unsolicited message from an alleged professional, that's a time to be extra cautious.
All right. Discounted materials, no contract, no insurance, no license, high pressure tactics, no online presence, no reviews. Those are all things to keep in mind. And Whitney, I always ask you this question, but once I gave my couple $100 to get something cleared up, or thousands of dollars, and kapoof, that person's gone, what are the chances I'm going to get my money back?
Myra, honestly, it depends. Hopefully, you have paid by credit card for these transactions. We strongly, strongly recommend that, because at the very least, with a credit card, you can dispute that charge, right, and get it wiped from your account. Certainly, you can use your bank account or your debit card, rather, but that's going to be a bit of a longer process. And then, unlike with a credit card where it's a charge, that money obviously is directly taken from your account. So you can still dispute it, but it's going to be a bit of a bigger headache versus using a credit card. And if you have any contractor, and this goes beyond, what we're talking about today, really anyone who is insistent that you pay with a certain form of payment that is not secured like a credit card, that's a red flag as well, because scammers know the best ways to not only get your money, but to hold on to it. And often that is through getting you to use an unsecured form of payment.
So what about things like, hey, you can Venmo me, you can Zelle me? Can those things, a lot of folks are using that. I use it. How does that work if you fall victim to a scam?
Yeah, I use them too. You just want to be cautious. Make sure that you trust the person that you're Venmoing. Really, with services like this, as much as possible, if you can pay with credit card, a lot, if these folks are legitimate, they're going to have a way for you to do that.
Okay, we lost Whitney again. I apologize. Okay, all right. So, again, if you are experiencing storm-related damage, power outages, just make sure that you are talking to the right people. If you fall victim to a scammer, report it, right, Whitney? That's the best thing that you can do.
Please do. Please report it. You can report it to Better Business Bureau. We keep track of that. We keep track of scams that are heavily affecting our area. It helps us to get the word out to our major stations like you, Myra. It helps us to educate other folks. It's really a very altruistic thing you can do to report it. Please don't be embarrassed. I try to stress that often when it comes to reporting scams, because they are very prevalent. The tactics are ever evolving. So if you have become a victim of a scam, please don't feel embarrassed to report it. Let us know. And we keep your information confidential. We're going to put the scammer on blast, but we're going to keep your information private. Furthermore, you can report, to the state, you can, law agencies. Bottom line is, please report it. Please don't keep that information to yourself. It's the only way that we have a chance of at least getting ahead of some of these scammers and preventing other folks from falling prey. All
right, Whitney, I appreciate your time today. Thank you for giving us this information. I put a link to the Better Business Bureau on this stream. So if you unfortunately go through this, you need some more help, please click on this link and we'll get you in the right direction. All right, be careful out there, folks. I'm Myra Ansari with the Better Business Bureau with Whitney Atkins today. Have a great day. Be safe out there. Thanks, Whitney.
Thank you.